Welcome back to New Rockstars. It's me, MT, and this is a breakdown of Peacemaker Episode 7, Stop Dragging My Heart Around. So let's just go ahead and dive into all those neat little Easter eggs and details that you missed from yet another banger of a Peacemaker episode by series showrunner James Gunn. And of course, the title of the episode, Stop Dragging My Heart Around, is of course a reference to the Stevie Nicks song, Stop Dragging My Heart Around, but with dragon in this case referring to this episode's formal debut of Augie Smith's White Dragon character, the famed DC racist supervillain. And right away at the start of the episode, we are greeted with the sounds of Motley Crue's Home Sweet Home, which is exactly how episode 6 ended, with Peacemaker playing his own piano rendition before being framed by the homie Adebayo with the words, "My heart is like an open book for the world to read," symbolically referring to Christopher's fake diary that was just revealed to the world. And these words lead us to this opening shot of young Chris and his brother Keith vibing out to albums like Theater of Pain by Motley Crue, Rock and Roll Over by Kiss, Afterburner by ZZ Top, and of course, Look What the Cat Dragged In from Poison that Peacemaker suggested be played in the Task Force truck in episode 5. And I also thought it was a really clever choice to let Vigilante's knocks on the door lead into the very beat of Peacemaker's theme song at the beginning of the episode.
You okay in there?
And I also noticed that when White Dragon and the Tiki Torch Whites, that Peacemaker's dad, Augie, in addition to being a racist genius of an inventor, also is an experienced software coder, with the GPS inside of the helmets running on Augie Soft version 3.0.
Well, I guess your dad's pretty brainy for a racist.
And also, I'm kind of seeing a little theme going on with Economos' deadly animal-themed t-shirts throughout the course of this series. Because in this episode, Economos wears the t-shirt of a jellyfish, potentially one of the deadliest creatures in the world, depending on the species. Like a jellyfish can kill multiple people if it wants to, before of course gunning down all the White Dragon's Walmart warriors, much like he wore a wolf t-shirt when he used a chainsaw to release his own inner wolf and Charlie the Gorilla's inner organs. And when Harcourt confronts Adebayo for betraying a fellow soldier,
"I'm not the one who just betrayed one of our own."
It's okay to shoot an innocent man begging for his life, but this you have an issue with?
He is a fellow soldier.
this is also reflected later on in the episode when Master General squishes the Mern butterfly, formerly known as Ich No Block, in cold green blood, really driving home the fact that this whole butterfly invasion is really just a sort of secret intergalactic war being fought in the shadows, a situation that Leota likens to the 1996 film Mars Attacks.
I didn't know that I was gonna get caught up in Mars Attacks.
But my God, was I not prepared for the emotionality that I was going to experience watching Mern's tiny little butterfly hand clutch Harcourt's finger as he slowly passed away. But it did serve as a really awesome and wholesome passing of the torch of team leader, which Harcourt ends up accepting by episode's end, mirroring the role of like Suicide Squad leader that her counterpart had in the comic. And also before getting their asses handed to them by a Judomaster filled with the fiery rage of justice and Flaming Hot Cheetos, the last thing that these two jerks ironically talk about before their surprise trip to the Evergreen emergency room is their love of vigilante justice in 1999's The Boondock Saints. Bet you guys ain't never seen Lucky the Leprechaun do that. And hey, speaking of Judomaster, sure, it's fun seeing this certified badass wear his superhero costume and eating Flaming Hot Cheetos every time he appears in an episode, basically. But I have a feeling that Judomaster does this intentionally, probably as a way to deter the butterflies that he was willingly working with from entering his body, because the butterflies probably don't like the volcano levels of hotness of Flaming Hot Cheetos, as ridiculous as that sounds. And since his suit does, in fact, keep his booty hole protected at all times, I think that his suit and these Flaming Hot Cheetos are Judomaster's way of protecting himself. There's a method to this master's martial madness. Now, if you have multiple credit card balances each month and are only paying the minimums, barely making a dent in your credit card debt, it can be discouraging. But Upstart can help you pay your existing debt quickly so you can feel like you're finally getting ahead. Whether you're paying off credit card debts, consolidating high interest debt, or funding personal expenses, over 1 million people have used Upstart to get one fixed monthly payment with a clear payoff date. Upstart knows that you are more than just your credit score. So rather than looking at your credit score alone, Upstart's model considers other factors like your income, employment, and other information provided in your loan application to find you a smarter rate for your loan. And you can check out your rate without impacting your credit score in just like 5 minutes for loans between $1,000 to $50,000. And you can receive funds as fast as 1 business day after after accepting your loan. So find out how Upstart can lower your monthly payments today when you go to upstart.com/newrockstars or click the link in the description below. That's upstart.com/newrockstars, and don't forget to use our URL to let them know that we sent you. And loan amounts will be determined based on your credit, income, and other certain information provided in your loan application. Go to upstart.com/newrockstars. And I really enjoyed how the White Dragon comes into the scene by timing the ramming of the truck to the "come on, come on, come on" from Wigwam's "In My Dreams." But not as much as I loved the imagery of a bunch of dumb criminals chasing a raccoon around the woods, much like Yondu and the Ravagers did with Rocket Raccoon on Bearheart in James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. And then when Vigilante steals one of these racist rednecks' cars, the license plate can be read 14WRDS, or 14 words, which has been a rallying cry for all the crybaby racists of the world since 1995 by former American domestic terrorist white supremacist group The Order. But they're not around anymore because they suck. Needless to say, Economos did the world a favor, and Peacemaker really should save his face exercises for someone who deserves it. But before Augie dies, I really enjoyed how Chris calls his dad a mother. Technically, that's pretty accurate, unless Augie grew Chris out of the lab. Oh my god, did he do that? But it further drives home the idea that these racists are very much driven by the cult-like ideology that is currently allowing Peacemaker's fake diary of conspiracy theories to be believed hook, line, and sinker, because he basically grew up around all these weirdos. And Augie's mention of the biblical story of God's testing of Abraham, where, God basically tells Abraham to sacrifice his son Isaac from Genesis chapter 22, as well as the mention of the demonic occult deity Baphomet while he was preaching to his cult of the soon-to-be slain, further proves this, because he very much has a lot of this religious lexicon in his mind, because they're just a bunch of crazy people. And that, of course, happens right before Vigilante saves the day by stabbing the White Dragon in those gaps in the armor that he told Peacemaker about in episode 4.
There are gaps in the armor. Your dad's White Dragon costume, right? There are weak points where the cloth is.
A fantastic callback to earlier in the season, but definitely not as emotionally touching as Eagly hugging Peacemaker again like he did in episode 1 after the big bird lord in the sky returned him to this mortal plane. Praise Eagle Jesus, hallelujah. However, what was super notable to me about Peacemaker's prayer at Pause a Moment Veterinary Clinic, where the vets are apparently both kinds of vets and are always ready to roll,
let's do this shit,
is that Peacemaker says that he believed that Eagly and his dead brother Keek were the only two people that actually loved him, confirming that Peacemaker really does not mistake Vigilante's obsession with him for genuine love. And of course, after Vigilante completely misinterprets the ending to 1969's Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid.
There's a freeze frame when we hear a bunch of bullets. That doesn't mean they died.
Yes, it does.
I don't think so. I think they jumped over those bullets right after that freeze frame.
Well, that's an exceedingly optimistic interpretation.
While Harcourt's team plans to kill the cow at Coverdale, likely named after a favorite poet of James Gunn's, David Coverdale, we of course get yet another iconic James Gunn slow walk from a superhero team. Because if there isn't a dramatic slow walk with a cute animal in it, did James even Gunn? And finally, this Peacemaker episode ends with the butterflies beating Team Peacemaker to the biggest cow that I have ever seen outside of your grandmother's nursing home bedroom. It's a pretty big cow, but gosh. Just by judging by the brief reaction that we get from this alien life form at the end of this episode, I'm getting big time Starro vibes from this giant celestial being held against their will. And I have a feeling that Peacemaker's big goth saving heart will not be able to kill a cow that didn't ask to be in his current abusive situation, much like he himself didn't ask to be the son of the abusive White Dragon. But that is it for our breakdown of this episode 7 of Peacemaker. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. You can follow me at MasterTainment on Twitter if you want to see me tweet some weird shit. But more importantly, you can follow New Rockstars wherever we are on social media. And if you do that on YouTube, make sure you hit that notification bell so you get notifications every time we upload a new video. And again, please hit up newrockstarsmerch.com for amazing shirts like this Peacemaker shirt. But anyways, thank you guys again for watching this video. I love you guys so much, and I appreciate you spending some time with me. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.